I'm Tony. This is my man Gary.
What up?
That's Dion right there.
What's good?
We'll have various guests and topics and albums that we're going to be reviewing here. Feel free to go to the links below and check out what we have to offer. Here we kind of wanted to agree on the record to review tonight is actually going to be Chance the Rapper's Acid Rap. And even though it came out a little while ago, I thought that we all agreed on the way that this record sounds, and we all kind of agreed that we were really excited about reviewing this record in particular to kind of be our first episode, if you will. And so hopefully you will enjoy this as well. So I think we should get into this. Chance the Rapper's Acid Rap, huh? So, anybody have any highlights of the album that anybody thought was really cool or didn't like about the album? I personally liked Cocoa Butter Kisses.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs on the album too.
Was that featuring Twista?
And yeah, that Twista verse, man. Yeah, I think that's honestly one of the best verses I've ever heard from Twista.
Yeah, I could dig on that too, man. I think that it was one of the more different verses that I've heard from Twista in a long time. Back in the day when Twista came out, I thought he was really focused on that lyrical ability that he had as opposed to the, I don't want to diss, but you know, the filler that he's kind of been using lately, you know, with the,
see how many words he can get
Yeah.
into it.
yeah, you know what I mean? And so I really like his contribution to this record because he had to step up his game, and instead of being on some, you know, I got this, I got that with the fast, you know, with the fast rap, he actually really got lyrical with it and, you know, showed us why he was the king of what he was doing in the first place. You know what I mean? I kind of forgot, you know, for a second I did. I ain't trying to diss my man Twista, but you know, I you know, he kind of strayed away from what he initially started from, you know?
He's been in the game for a long time for sure, but honestly, when I saw featuring Twista, I thought, nah, man, you know, like another Twista, you know, I haven't been feeling Twista for a long time. And when I heard that verse, you know, I was like, yeah, man.
I was actually happy to see
Twista was spitting.
Yeah, it was strong verse.
I was actually happy to see Twista on that because Chance the Rapper is from Chicago.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really cool that, you know, and we all know that Twista's from Chicago. I thought it was really cool that, you know, he incorporated, you know, Twista, or asked Twista, or Twista even got down with a young cat like Chance the Rapper that, you know, that was so different in the first place from the traditional young cats that are coming out nowadays, especially if you compare a Chance the Rapper to a Chief Keef or, you know what I'm saying, or a Lupe Fiasco. Well, you know, the newer, you know, the young cats that are coming out. I wouldn't say Lupe is young, but you know.
Chance actually, I mean, I didn't know what to expect when I first heard it. Like, literally, when I started listening to the first track, I was like, oh, man, this is bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got it.
Immediately. And I was like...
First couple tracks.
And I was like, I got into it, and I was like, yo, I could say right off the bat, the production was disgusting. Like, it was so good.
I really did enjoy the production of that. I think Nate Fox was the main
He
producer.
did a lot.
Yeah,
that Cocoa Butter Kisses, that was actually Cam from the Justice League. So I was like, Cam from the Justice League, but it's got Twist on it. So I was thrown off at that song when I was just reading, you know, the track titles. But then when I heard it, I was like, that song is what changed the album for me. The first two songs, I was like, this dude's weird. It's something I haven't, you know, and I thought that because I haven't heard anything like this before. Like, I think dude's doing something that, you know, he's got his own thing going, and it took me a couple tracks to get it. You know,
one of the things that I liked about this project in particular is that there is a Chicago sound, if you will, that kind of dates back to even, you know, the old jazz and the blues that was kicking from the beginning and from that Renaissance era that Chicago had, you know. I really feel like with this Chance the Rapper Acid Rap album that he's kind of embodying that old juke joint, jazz bluesy kind of, that Chicago. You know, when I think of old school Chicago, when I think of Chicago, I think of old school blues. You know, personally, I'm not from there. You know what I mean? So I don't know per se, but I think of that old school, you know, like jazz, blues, juke joint, you know, bebop kind of music. You know, the Zooks, the real clean pimps and stuff. He really embodies that and mixes his own thing with it, like, you know, his drug
Right.
his drug obsession on the whole record. You know what I mean? Which is cool. And being a young guy, you know, we roll with that.
Initially, that first 2 songs, I thought he was on acid, like literally.
He might have been.
And it was like, and I was thinking that, okay, well, he's gonna do a whole song about drugs. This is what I expect. He's giving me what I expected. What I was expecting from the beginning.
Yeah, the first couple songs.
The
beats, you know, and the beats were a little different. Like the album's different. The album's a little different, but I applaud him for that. And you know, the production's tight. Like it took a couple songs for me to be like, okay, because at first I dismissed it a little bit. You know, dude's voice is
it's like a mix of I thought it was like trying to be. It's like Wheezy, you know, like little freaking Lil Wayne, but it was better lyrics, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, and you know, it wasn't like Wheezy's, you know what I'm saying? But you got him, and he had some soul to it, like attached to it. Yeah. So he actually was singing, and it didn't initially start until you got later into the album. Then you could be like, okay, he's actually saying, and he's actually saying some shit.
Right, he's saying stuff. He's saying shit for sure. He's saying shit.
I want to piggyback off of what you were saying a little earlier, how it was a really different record, and you know, I actually would not have given this record the chance that I actually did give it if it wasn't for this actual review that we're trying to do right now. You know, generally I would have, you know, I would have saw it on some, you know, social media post, checked it out, a couple of songs. I actually did. I actually checked out Juice.
Did you see the cover?
Yeah, the cover. The cover was actually pretty cool. I actually really enjoyed the album cover of it.
He looked like dude from oh man, I can't even think of that damn
what are you talking about?
Man, I'm trying to think. Remember Sunset Park? Busy Bee, whatever.
He got his jacket stolen, right? He got his jacket and shit.
Like that cat. And I was like, oh man, is that?
He just needed the big old goggles and shit.
Yo.
But you know, I'm glad that I got into the album though.
Yeah,
I'm glad because the first couple songs, if it was just someone was like, listen to this, first couple songs, I would have been like, nah, man, I can't. You know, it slowly started to turn around, and then later in the album, you know, Acid Rain's down there. You know, and that's produced by Jake One.
Yes,
and you know, and like it's a great song, and I mean. The song is great, you know. The song with Action Bronson on it is dope, and Childish Gambino. That song's dope. And you know, I knew I had to listen to it a couple times so I could properly say what's up with the album, you know. But the first couple songs I did listen to, I was like, man, you know, like I'm not sure, but I ended up liking it a lot. But I also will say that I think there is a chance that some people aren't gonna like the album.
Chance.
That's Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper. You're taking a Chance the Rapper. Yeah. I agree with you a whole bunch, man. I really was a bit off-put by, you know, initially when I first put in the record, I was initially off-put by his whiny, kind of childy, you know, cadences and his patterns and stuff.
Bootleg White Clef, like, you know.
You
know what I'm saying? Like,
but after I started digging on it, man, I actually started feeling it because it worked with his content and like how he was. The shit that he was saying was really dope as well, like, and it kind of fit that kind of, and his soulfulness was able to come out in that kind of whiny, childy. It was really cool, man. I feel like, with my personal opinion, with this record, I think the record is missing an Eminem feature. You know what I mean? His cadences, his patterns. I feel like his drug obsession comes a lot from M. You know what I mean? And I was really kind of disappointed with.
I can hear that.
With not having an M feature, him sounding so much like this dude.
Yeah, I think like track 7.
Chance, you need to hit up M.
Word.
Chance, you need to hit up M, bro.
Y'all would make a dope track, man.
Yeah, it was different, but in a better way than other cats were trying to do different.
I agree.
You know,
I thought initially it was gonna come into. I was just about, you know, I heard a little bit. I thought the trap was gonna start. The trap was gonna come out. I was waiting for the trap.
There were some beats that kind of, you know, facilitated that. You know,
and that's just not my thing. I mean, I you know. It's,
you ain't into trap music, bro?
What? You know, if I gotta. You know what I'm saying? I could get a T-Rex to make a beat.
Oh man.
Forget it.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I think that, like you said, it caught me off guard, you know, the production, especially like going into the album, you know, like more tracks into it, I started liking it more and more, and it just grew on me.
Like, and that's what I was saying, I'm glad I got that, because like, you know, that the Acid Rain's later in there, and if I was coming at it in a situation where anything other than for this,
right,
I would have turned it off by then.
yeah.
Right,
you know,
right.
You know,
it's sad. Assuming I know, you know, we all do that. You know,
yeah,
so
and it's just
many-
because it was different.
So,
It was something so different, but it grew on me big time. And so I'm a fan, and I'm excited about what's going to come from
yeah, no
Chance.
doubt.
I actually am too.
And I'm excited what's going to come from Nick Fox.
Yeah,
Nate Fox.
Nate Fox.
yeah.
My apologies, Nate Fox.
yeah.
Yeah, Nate Fox is seems like he's one of the more prolific producers on the record. I really dug the Jake One joint.
Yeah.
And like I was saying earlier, I really dug the feature choices that my man used.
Yeah.
You know, you had the Twister, you had the Ab Soul on there.
Yeah, Absol.
I
Yeah,
really
Absol
liked
killed it too.
I really liked BJ the Chicago Kid. I think
Yeah,
I really
yeah,
liked his
Yeah,
contribution.
another
to it,
name
too.
I had never heard.
Yeah, never heard of the cat. You know, I'm sure that he's a part of Chance's camp or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And then the Action Bronson
Right,
joint.
right.
I really thought that it was just a really good choice of kind of up and coming. You had the veteran and Twister, but then you had the other up and coming guys who were actually different themselves.
Yeah.
Kind of doing their own thing themselves. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed this record. It was a breath of fresh air on a commercial level.
Yeah.
I tend to listen to more, you know, heady. I'm a boom bap roots
Right,
rustic
right,
kind of
yeah,
hip hop
yeah,
guy
yeah.
myself. You know what I mean? And so for this record, I mean, it's polar opposite than what I normally. You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't have been like, I'm gonna go to the store and buy this album.
Right.
You know, and but I'm glad
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to listen to it for this because I consider myself. He releases something, I'm gonna listen to it.
Word.
You know?
And that's
Right,
that's
yeah.
how it's going down for me as well. When Chance drops another record or another mixtape or something like that, I think I'm just gonna go out of my way and cop that,
Yeah.
just to kind of
I'll
see what
cop
he's
that.
doing. I really like how he's contributing to that Chicago
Yeah.
sound. I mean, he fits right in there with. You know, he fits in there with the Chief Keef all the way to the Commons,
Right.
to the Brats, to the Crucial Conflict,
Yeah.
to the Lupe Fiasco. I think he embodies
Yeah.
all of those cats lyrically, musically, sonically. I think that he does that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of my favorite tracks off the record, besides Cocoa Butter Kisses with
Right.
Twista, is Everybody's Somebody's.
Everybody's somebody.
Is everything something like that? I really like that track. It sounds when it first starts and he's kind of coming off. It
Yeah.
sounds a bit off kilter, and I was like, but then it kind of hits in with his messages. I really dug that, man.
Dude has, you know, he got shit on his head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Shit in
yeah.
the brain. He's saying some stuff, man. A lot of stuff will hit home, man. Like you could tell, like a lot of the growing up stuff, man. I think he brought up a situation with the way he talks. People messing with him.
Yeah,
That's one of the
he
things for
talks
me.
white and
You
shit
know
like
what I'm
that,
saying?
right?
There's one, you know, that's one of the things that's constantly. I hate y'all. Constantly.
I like this album too because we all agreed that, you know, one of our favorite songs was the Cocoa Butter Kisses.
Word.
But then I think we all also had second songs that we really liked that were different. Like I really liked that Acid Rain song.
Yeah.
You just named a song, and then
Lost.
you were telling me about a
Lost
song.
is
Lost,
yours,
Yeah,
right. We were talking about that.
I think Lost, honestly, man, the way he hit, he just hit a lot of different, you know, with the verses, man. The cadence and everything, he just came off. You
Word.
know, and it was one of the more impressive tracks, you know.
Yeah, I can dig
Yeah.
that. I can actually dig that big
Yeah.
time, man. I really dug this album, man. The cats out there, if you haven't listened to this record, Chance the Rapper, Acid Rain, even though it came out a few months ago actually,
Yeah.
but and that was when we were getting this whole project kickstarted, and we just
Yeah.
wanted to stick around and stick with that actual album for the first joint. But if you haven't heard it, man, give it a listen.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think about it.
We'll put up links and everywhere where you can get it.
Yeah, man. And what albums should we kind of review next and shit? You know, what you guys would like to hear us do.
Yeah.
You want to get on the couch, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Send us
Yeah, any
feedback.
suggestions, albums you want us to review, if you want to come get on the couch, it's the...
That's what's up.
And I'm going to recommend everybody listen to this album, but I'm also going to say some people might not like it.
Yeah, I can
but
think that for sure too. In the beginning, I didn't like
I
it.
would recommend it though. I
Do
would
not
recommend
judge
you
the
listen
book by
to
the
it.
cover.
Yeah.
Don't judge
And
me
give
by
it a
the
second.
cover.
Give the album a
Yeah,
second.
absolutely.
Get into the album, really listen to it. I think it'll grow on you. I really do.
Yeah, in the beginning, I didn't like the record. It gave me a minute. And like I was saying earlier, I wouldn't have given this album a chance if it was not for this
Yeah.
particular review
Yeah.
that we were
Yeah,
doing.
truly.
This would have been something that went way over my radar, and I wouldn't have copped it or even gave it a second chance. I'd have been asking people who the fuck Chance the Rapper was.
exactly.
Yeah.
But now I know, and you guys should get hip as well.
Really though, I think we all addicted. Yeah, I think we all addicted. Cigarette eyes on cigarettes. My mama think I stink. I got burn holes in my memories. My homies think it stank. I miss my cocoa butter.